Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody has been enjoying our videos. Today's video might be a little echoey. Unfortunately, it's 22 degrees outside today. It's a cold fall morning. I'm really excited about this latest video that we're doing. I've been having a hard time deciding which phone mount we wanted to put in the Mojito Jeep. Basically, we figured out that there's 3 different JL Wrangler specific phone mounts available, and we couldn't decide which one we want. We're gonna try out all 3. Let you see how each one works so you can make an informed decision seeing all side by side before making your purchase. The first iPhone mount that was sent to us was from a company called ProClip. I've got a lot of experience with the ProClip mounts. I've used them in my Chevy Silverados. I've used them in the Porsche Cayennes, also in different generations of the Corvettes, the C5 and C7. What's cool is that they make specific mounts for each different vehicle, and then you choose the specific phone mount for your phone device that will fit it nice and snug. So let's see what's in the box here. They did send me a ProClip USA t-shirt, which is pretty cool, nice color red. And in the box here, we've got, this is the actual vehicle specific for the JL. What this is gonna do, and you'll see as we install it, it's gonna clip on across the top of the dashboard. And then once that's clipped on, we're gonna take the phone specific holder. That this one is supposed to be for small to medium phones with cases. I went with the part number 511666 because I know that this one has worked with my iPhone 10 and my wife has an iPhone 7 still. So I know it works with a couple of different sizes of iPhones. So that's why I chose this one. You would have to go on ProClip USA, put in your specific device, and it will tell you which one will work best for yours. Next up is the dash multi-mount system from Rugged Ridge. This one is actually the cheapest of the 3. It ran about $45. I picked it up on Amazon, and I'll make sure I put the link to this one in the description below. This one is a full replacement for on top of your dash where you've got the tray holder on the top of the dashboard. This is actually gonna sit down in there, get screwed in. And what's cool with this one is it does hold your phone, but also offers a secondary mount option for a GoPro or a second device. So you'll see that when we get that one in there. So let's go ahead and open up the package on this one, just to see what comes in the box. So like I said, it's got the full tray that's gonna sit up in the top of the dash. It's gonna have, this is the point where you're gonna attach the phone holder, which is right here. This is gonna attach on there. And then the camera mount system is right here. So we'll show you how to install that one and see how it works here in just a minute. The third phone mount holder that we have here is actually the most expensive of the 3. This one was about $85 directly from 67 Designs. I'll also put their website in the description below. But this one is probably the fanciest of the 3. It's gonna come with a mount that's gonna be screwed in on the one side up in the dash on the top. This one's gonna get stuck down and screwed in to the top. Then what it does is it comes with a carbon fiber arm that uses the ball mounts. So this ball mount is gonna attach to the part on the dash. And then it comes with the actual phone holder, which is a squeeze grip that slides, and that ball is gonna go in here. And so like I said, it's all, you can tell it's a solid heavy duty quality. These ends are made out of metal, carbon fiber piece here. The only thing you should need today for any one of these 3 is a couple of Phillips screwdrivers. Might need a little skinnier one for the ProClip. First up, we're gonna install the ProClip phone mount. What's cool about this one is this is the only one that's not gonna use any screws or anything like that to mount this to the JL. For this mount, all you really have is some adhesive on the backing here, which you'll peel off, and that's gonna get stuck to the front of the dash wherever you decide to use it. For us, we're not gonna stick this right now because we're not sure which phone mount we're gonna stick with. We may end up keeping a combination of a couple of them. To get started with this one, it's really cool because this is just gonna kind of slide over the dash here, and it's gonna clip down in the back. But what's really cool is that it's gonna give you the ability, because the JL dash is pretty much straight across, to pretty much put it almost, it looks like right about there, it's gonna stop. There's something up there, but we should be able to put this into place anywhere along here. For us as the driver, the spot I would want it is gonna be right here because it's kind of in between the screen where you're not gonna be blocking the screen and you're not gonna block the vent too much. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna press and apply some pressure forward on this. And as you can see, if you wanna come up in here, you see this will start to flex and it's just gonna clip down in there and lock into place. It's that easy. Again, you can see this moves a little bit. If I remove that adhesive tape, that's gonna lock it in place there and keep it more solid. Especially if you're gonna do any off-roading or anything, you're gonna use this, you're definitely gonna wanna use that adhesive tape. But for now, for our demonstration purposes and for us to decide which one we're gonna wanna use, that's it. That was simple, one-handed installation basically. And again, it still will slide. You can see it's gonna slide along here a little bit until we decide our desired position. So I would recommend test fitting it, playing with your phone before you actually do that adhesive on there. Now the next step is going to be actually adjusting the phone mount. ProClip recommends that you set it for your phone first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my little screwdriver here and loosen up these two screws just enough to allow it to let this spread. So we're gonna use Kim's iPhone 7 right now to kind of set it and adjust it. So if you noticed, I kind of squeezed this together on the phone right there. So now it's got a nice snug fit to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide the phone out, leaving it in place as it is. I'm gonna grab my screwdriver again and just tighten these two down. And you can adjust this once you get the phone mounted back up on your dash. You'll be able to adjust it, or if you change phones, get a new phone, as long as the base, as long as the holder is wide enough to adjust to your new phone, you know, different cases and things like that, you can adjust it. So it does have some flexibility. And the next step, I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew the center screw here to disassemble this from the mounting plate. And it won't actually come out, it does stay in there, so you can see it's fully loosened, but it still stays in. And then you're just gonna kind of pop them apart. You can see it's kind of squared off there, and this is squared with the screw through there. And what you'll notice if you kind of come around here, on the mounting plate, there are 6 holes. So it does allow you, gives you some options as far as whether you want it further to the left or further to the right here. Gives you the choice how you want to do it. For us, I think we'll just go with the left side here. And then they do include these 4 little screws here. If you can see those, they're pretty tiny. Those are what's gonna screw through here to screw it to the plate. The next step is to just take the screwdriver. We gotta just try to line this up with the squared up hole on there. And we're gonna go ahead and screw this down. And just keep tightening it until it starts to feel kind of tight on here. And that's how what you're gonna use to adjust the positioning of the phone, how it angles here. So you're gonna want it, I like to leave it fairly snug so that it doesn't move around too much on you when you're trying to adjust your phone, even though I do like to get it into a position and then kind of leave it. Sometimes you do want to adjust it and things like that, or maybe turn it, so you don't want it too tight. And the last step then is to take the phone and we're just going to slide it in. What it does is it slides down into here. And I can tell it's a little loose, so I'll probably go ahead and adjust it to make it a little more snug. I like it a little tight so that when it goes in, it's going to hold it a little snugger. And then that way, if you decide you want to turn it, it will still hold it in nicely. That's it. That's the ProClip from ProClipUSA.com. It's got a lot of benefits. Again, you know, given some flexibility. I do like that it's not blocking the screen here. Over here, it's not blocking the vent or anything like that, and it keeps it clear of there. It's in a nice position where you can see it without obstructing your view too much. Now let's grab Wifey and see what she thinks about this mount and give her opinion and her review of what she sees here.
Let's see what I think. That's really secure. I know there's these inserts here that holds the phone and they grab them. I was kind of like, while I was videoing, I wasn't thinking they would really hold it nicely, but man, it really does. Holds it very nicely. It feels snug, but it's loose enough where you can pull it in and out easily. I like how we can turn it. That's really nice. And I do agree with you, James, that it doesn't obstruct the screen. I was very nervous about the obstruction of the screen. And this bracket here, if you will, is not as, I thought it might be bulkier than it is. So it's a much sleeker look than it looked online. It's very nicely made. And once, you know, you put the adhesive on, this would sit better. Like you said, it won't be as wobbly. It's not even that wobbly, actually, considering there is no adhesive on. It's actually, you could use it like this, not put the adhesive on, so you can change it up. And then obviously, if you go off-roading, you're gonna want to secure it and keep your phone in place. But the fact that you can turn this at ease without the adhesive, I think it's a real nice product. I'm just curious when driving if I'm gonna like this in the middle of the windshield. That would be my only concern. Otherwise, I think it's a great phone mount.
Next up is the Rugged Ridge multi-dash mount. And what this is gonna do is this is actually gonna sit up in here in the top of the dash. This is just a pad. This whole pad just pulls out, nice and easy. You saw how easy that was to remove. And then you'll see that there's 2 screws up in the top here. Both of those should just be Phillips screws. First, I'm going to remove these screws up in the top here. Nice and easy. I just can't really see up in there, but so as I was trying to get the screws going up in there, I realized it was easier to actually start them in here first because the plastic is a little tight in there. So I just got them a little started. Now I'm going to set this up in place. Should give me an easier idea of where they're supposed to be going. I can just go ahead and screw these down in. Once those screws are in there, you can see it's nice and tight. I mean, it's basically become part of the dash now. It's actually kind of cool because it gives you a little deeper compartments in here while still allowing you to use all the space up there, except in this little middle section. Next and last step really is to take the actual phone holder part, which you can see slides and adjusts for different size phones. So you're gonna take the little ring nut, slide it over. You're gonna take this and actually clip it down onto the ball, just like that. And then you're gonna bring the ring nut back up and tighten it down on it. And that allows it to then pivot on the ball basically any direction you want, and allows you to take your phone, we'll grab Kim's phone here again, slide it in there, nice and easy, and it would allow it to be adjusted to pretty much any angle, direction that you want. It does allow you to slide it, you know, if you wanted it held a little further down, or if you wanted it further up into the phone, into the holder here. Does give you that flexibility. And what it will allow you to do, because of the type of holder it is, I can take, this is an old iPhone 6 we had with a big case on it, but you can see even a bigger case, it will allow it to hold it in there nicely and still allow you to have full functionality. Now, what else is cool with this mount is that it's got the camera mount here. So if I had a camera set up, the holder for my GoPro, just like any kind of tripod, it's got the little mount there, and this is the how you tighten it down. But you can loosen this up. That gives you the ability to turn this and set your camera in there, and then you use this little thing here to tighten that down in there. So gives you, that's why they call this the multi-dash mount. It does give it that ability to add a camera and have your phone at the same time. So I was curious because it did look like the ProClip, the dash mount would actually fit over this. So I wanted to try it real quick, and I did slide it back on, and it will slide over. So you could potentially use this with the phone and a camera mount, as well as the ProClip if you wanted to. And this would also go on this side. So you could use it either side if you had a need for multiple mounts, which for us, maybe when Kim and I are on a road trip or something, it might be nice for her to be able to use the ProClip on this side with, you know, watching a movie or watching some Netflix or something over here, while I still have my phone here connected with the CarPlay and still having the ability to use the tray area up here. So just a thought.
So I'm gonna test it out and see what I think. Fits in there very nice and snug. I do like the fact that I can slide this all the way down. I do like that because at least I could see across the windshield and it's not completely an obstruction. So that I do like. I also like that we can add any phone to this, and any case really. It fits just nicely and it swivels very, very nicely. And even with the phone sitting so low, this is a little more top heavy and it doesn't seem to be a problem. Like as I'm like tapping it and kind of jiggling it, it's not top heavy and causing any kind of problem, and it's not shifting down, which would be annoying. It's a tight fit even when it's turned horizontally like that and vertically. So I definitely like this. I also think I had to really put it to the test and get my sunglasses out and see if my sunglasses fit in here, and they do.
And for our last one, we're gonna install the 67 Designs phone mount. This one's all gonna start with this base that's gonna go up here on the left-hand side of the dash tray. You still need to have this liner removed, which I left it removed from the Rugged Ridge one after we did that, and I kept the one screw out on the left-hand side from after we did the Rugged Ridge one because I knew this was gonna go in. So what's gonna happen is this 67 Designs one comes with some adhesive backing, which again I'm not gonna install for now because I'm not sure what we're gonna end up going with, which combo we're gonna use. But I'm gonna take this one screw and it's gonna go right into there. As this gets pushed down into here, you'll notice it catches in the notch. This one's a little snug. You gotta really give it a good push down in there. And then this screw is going to go in. Oh, there we go. And I'll go ahead and snug that down. And that does tighten up nicely. Now what 67 Designs did is they also include, along with the adhesive backing, they give you 2 extra screws, which if you decide you want to be a little more secure, there's 2 more holes in the mount. You can drill tiny little holes. They say to make sure you're very careful not to drill through anything because you don't want to damage anything under the dash. But just go through the plastic enough to get these 2 little screws in, and that will be the final for solidifying the mount. We're not going to do that for now. We're just going to put the 1 screw in. The next part is to take the carbon fiber arm, and it's got these little wing nuts on that loosen this up so that you can clamp it onto the ball. Still need to go a little looser here. Get it nice and loose. Just until it's enough to get it over the ball. And then I can go ahead and tighten it down. And then you can adjust that so that it allows you, what's kind of cool is this allows you to bring it up, down. You can pretty much go any way you want with it to get the proper angle. And then leave that snug so that it doesn't bounce around on you. And then for the phone mount, you're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna loosen this all up here. And we're gonna take the actual mount, which has the 67 logo in there, and also is like the Rugged Ridge one in that it slides out. It is curved here to snug the phone in. So I just need to get this loose enough to get the ball in again. Once the ball's in, we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down. And you want it snug so that it's gonna hold the phone pretty well. And that's that. So now let's grab Kim's phone again. And you can see this just slides in there. I can tighten this a little more so it's not spinning on me. Tighten that down. Kim's phone goes in. It's held in pretty nicely. Again, if I wanted to, I can raise it up. You know, and I can adjust the mount down. So this gives you the most, you know, flexibility and range of where you want it. I do like, this is what I thought from looking at them, is I do like that it comes out and also keeps it the lowest of all the phones. Really, you can keep it down further than the others. Still above the vent, not blocking the screen right here. I don't think it's too tight where it would be any interruption with your hands when turning the wheel or anything. And you can also turn it sideways like the other ones. One of the things that I kind of don't like with this one is that you do need to cut this, or they recommend that you cut this pad so that you can place it back in there, which isn't a big deal. It probably takes 2 seconds to cut it, and chances are once you choose it and put it in there, you're not gonna take it out, you're gonna stick with it. I think this mount's gonna work with whatever phone we get, either one of us if we change phones, so it should be fine. It is the fanciest looking one in my opinion, being metal and carbon fiber.
I'm gonna test out the 67 Designs phone mount. And as you can see, it works very nicely with my iPhone 7. It's not very high up, even when it is high, but it is still, you know, I'm not a fan of the obstruction there. But when I bring it down lower, actually like to about here, I can still see. So I know when I'm driving, I just like to see across, pan across. And I think this is very nice. It's very sturdy. I like that it swivels sturdy too, man. It feels like it is not gonna go anywhere. And you can really adjust it to whatever angle you would like. That is very, very nice. Since this adjusts, it widens for any type of phone. As you can see with this one, with this heavy duty case, it fits this one as well. And anything bigger, because look at how wide it expands. So that is very nice. I think the one thing I'm sad about, I have issues with cutting into things on our brand new car. So I don't like that I'm gonna have to cut this, but I also do know that I'm sure this costs nothing, next to nothing. And if we decided to go with this one and then we didn't like it and we needed a new one of these, I'm sure I could order it online and get another one. So I'm thinking I like this one.
So overall, we were hoping that we would be able to give you a definitive answer about which one that Kim and I like the most. Unfortunately, they all have nice things about each one of them that we like. So for our final recap here, the Rugged Ridge one was the most inexpensive and probably your best bang for your buck at only $45, including the entire tray, giving you your actual phone mount, which will work on a variety of different phone sizes, as well as a camera holder. Middle of the range one was the ProClip, which like I said, I've used many times. I know it's a quality piece that's gonna hold up. It looks very nice. I was worried that this piece kind of going all the way across the dash would look a little funny. It looks a lot nicer in person on the vehicle than I thought it would, and gives you a nice swivel mount that will hold your phone in tightly. It's not, you know, when you're on the trails, it's not going to be able to bounce out if you're off-roading and things like that. It's going to sit in there tight. The last thing I really liked with the ProClip was that there is some flexibility about where it goes across the top of the dash, whereas these other two they're pretty much set. You don't have any choice. You can move them, you know, rotate them, go side to side a little bit, but this is the only mount that gives you ability to choose where along the top of the dash you can put it. Finally, the 67 Design ones at $85 is obviously the most expensive, but you can also see that the level of quality of the materials, it looks fancy. It's the least obtrusive when it's in there, kind of sits out of the way and doesn't look like it's an eyesore sticking out of anywhere. Finally, the last thing I'll say about them is that they all seem to be priced right about where they should be. They're all good quality mounts. Each one of these has their own benefits. They're good craftsmanship, well designed. It's just a matter of preference and how much you're looking to spend, but you really can't go wrong with any one of these three. Just a matter of which one works best for your application.